Welcome to T-Boys TV. We're back again with another Hatter Show, obviously episode 102. And obviously we are in that time now, playoffs back to back. Obviously I finished higher this season, third. History books, I don't want to jinx anything, but history book says third tends to win it. So hopefully it can be our year this year. But obviously we'll be getting into that whole game where obviously we rotated quite a bit, as we know. And then obviously we will be getting into the Sunderland game. And obviously we do have a Sunderland fan on when it comes to that, for that. But like always, I'm joined with my dad. How are we, Dad?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks, mate. You?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm nervy for this game, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure you're the same when it comes to that. Oh, Cameron's having a little bit of a mirror. But anyway, so obviously we took on Hull last game of the season. Obviously going into it, we both went with a victory and a clean sheet. Obviously, you said 2-0. I said 1-0. So it ended up being 0-0. We rotated, which we, of course, expected, especially if it being a nothing game for both teams, in fact. But I didn't expect as much rotation as there was, which obviously we'll get into the lineup. So Shea was in goal. Did not expect that. Even though Ethan's a starter, he's a goalkeeper. We haven't really seen him change this season, even in FA Cup games. So I thought it'd probably be him again. Osho, Bradley, and Potts. Obviously, Osho it's good when I look at it because obviously Osho's trying to get back into things since the injury. Bradley, like I said, rotated. Obviously, we'll talk a little bit about him later. Obviously, it's been announced he'll be leaving as well. Potts, again, good. Coming back, getting him minutes. And then obviously it was Fred on the right, I think he started on the left actually, and then Doherty was on the right. I know they had a bit of a change. And then Campbell, Watson, and Clark in the midfield. And then obviously it was Taylor and Freeman up front. Obviously we've seen Freeman playing a lot of different positions, whether that's him coming on or starting. And obviously this game he started up front. As for the bench, a lot of players got rested, which we'll get into them players that did in a second. But it was Berry, Burke, Johnson. Good to see Johnson on the bench again. Lansbury, Ruddock, Thorpe. Good to see Thorpe back as well. And Walton. So no Ethan, no Lockyer, no Adebayo, no Morris, no Nakamba. What's that? 5 players from the top of my head. A lot of them are key players as well. Clark as well. So, yeah, I didn't expect that much rotation, but I'm not complaining, because a lot of the players that come on, like Osho started, needed them minutes under their belts. Like I said, nothing game, guaranteed third, and it was, nothing game for Hull, really, as well. So, happy with that lineup. Your thoughts on that lineup, Dad?
Yeah, I was surprised, obviously, that there was more. I understood it. I got it. But, defence, was pretty much, I did mention to you personally that maybe Shea would start as well. But, I was surprised that Fred started, totally different. Freeman's not even a striker. But it was still good to see, and we needed to do it. And obviously that changed probably the outcome of the game because we wasn't. It's not the team that's going to be competing to get to the Premier League, is it? Starting 11, But yeah. So I was intrigued to see how some of these players would do and play together and stuff like that. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Going into the first half, I'd say Hull had the bigger chances from what I can think of. Bradley had a little bit of an error. Obviously did get the block in the end. Obviously tried heading it back, but didn't put enough on it. And then obviously their player, I think it was Traore, was going to it. And then obviously Bradley blocked it. It's one of them where obviously, we love the guy. We love the guy, everything he's done for the club. He's had some vital games for us. Obviously games like Middlesbrough when we first come back up. Obviously scored that massive goal. Obviously a massive point that was, first game back in Championship. Blackburn last season, he come on and just steadied the ship in defence. It was just, the urgency he had for the team to go forward and how commanding he was in that game was brilliant. And he has had a few others, but obviously, going forward, I think he knows it as well. He's not quite, there for us in that sense. Hence, well, obviously he's going, but massive shout out to him. But yeah, what did you make of that little moment he had?
Yeah, again, like he's not really featured much this season. There's been some off-field issues and that's all sorted, so that's good. Yeah, obviously a club legend. But I've said it many a time. So the way we're moving, we are outgrowing certain players at a faster pace than we ever have done. And yeah, you can see that. I don't know if that's with not much match time, but I've seen other players who've been out for a while come back and then just adjust quicker than he seems to have been doing. And it's little things like that you can't have going into the playoff finals and stuff like that. But yeah, great servant. Yeah, loads of best defender in League One for us. Wicked captain. Like it's just one of them. It's just how it works with football. But for the prize as big as it is, we can't be risking that as well. Like, and I think he knows that as well. Like, if you come in and he was, he's still got ability, but you can't be doing them every. Like, let's be honest, it's been the last 3 games or whatever games he's played. There's
3 out of 4, yeah.
That, and generally we don't do that. Let's be honest, especially since Rob Edwards has come in as well. So, but yeah, redeemed himself anyway. But we said this before, it's the thing, causing that in the first place, because you ain't going to be able to redeem yourself all the time. That is what it is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Definitely agree with that. They also had a chance of free kick. Good save by Shea, just tipped it out. We had a few chances as well. Closest chance I can think of was that Joe Taylor chance. Good save by Ingram, to be honest. Obviously, I don't know what he was trying to do though. His positioning was a bit mad, and obviously, as we know, which we'll get into, he nearly got caught out in the second half doing that. But it was one where we had a few chances. I'd say they had the more, like I said. But yeah, anything else you want to quickly say on that first half?
Yeah, it was a good save for Shea. He was sort of shaking his head a little bit, but I don't know. It was a good save. He put it out for a throw-in as well. Like,
yeah,
that's a save I expect Ethan to make, and he made it. So yeah, that was mainly like what was going on. Really, it was just in watching how we were playing, how we were gelling together. Because obviously they're still trained the same. It goes throughout the whole club. That's how you run a successful football club. But and they were, but you could see certain players were a little bit ahead. Like Clark, I thought you could tell that he's got that extra step in him. He's obviously a starting 11 player. But yeah, that's it really.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll go through some comments. A lot of comments come in before we get into the second half. Big up to Billy. He says, "Go on, Hatters." Absolutely. Jackie's put a comment, but I will. I've starred it and I'll go to it later because it's got a score prediction in there.
I just missed the point.
There's another score prediction.
Anyway, let me interrupt. Go back. The header from
Taylor.
Who was it? Taylor? Sorry, yeah. It was a fantastic header. Like how Ingram got to that, I don't know, but that was a bullet header, mate, and that's looking good because he looked good in that half. He looks really strong, which is impressive. This is why he's been on the bench. Now he can see why he's been on the bench because he's straight. Yeah, when we first saw like Mendes going, it's even Adebayo, like you could see their strength weren't up to scratch, like holding on to the ball and that it wasn't up to that championship stand. You need that going up the leagues, but yeah, he I noticed that he's got it. And yeah, that was a big save for them. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. Should have been a goal.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Big up Kieran. He says, "Yo," he says, "Come on, you Hatters! Big day tomorrow. Absolutely massive, mate, as we know, which we'll get into a bit later on." Big up to Wolf. He says, "Hi, Tyler and Tyler's dad." Big up. big up yourself, mate, as well. David's put in his score prediction, a little bit about it. So again, I'll get into that later. And he's just coming, you hatters. So yeah, big up to yourself. But yeah, going into off, obviously we made some changes. Burke got some minutes for Osho, which is I didn't expect Osho to come off, especially with him, just coming back. But it was good to see that, it's obviously replaced by someone else trying to get minutes. And
yeah, it makes sense.
Another player we know is going to be massive. Yeah.
Makes
sense. Exactly. Elliot Thorpe come on. A lot of these subs, it's good, to get their minutes up. Pretty much every sub in this game, I would say. Even Berry, we know he's been playing parts in games massively, so it's one of them. But second half, we had a few chances. Berry, I'd say, when he come on, that one from the halfway line or just in front, very unlucky. Ingram, like I said, I don't know what he was thinking. Who he thinking he was in that game? His positioning at times was really weird, especially in the first half. He wasn't even in his box. Obviously, he nearly got caught out, like I said. The Berry chance, unlucky. And yeah, fair play, Berry, for going for that. Obviously we see players do that. Saw Ivan Toney do it for Brentford not too long ago, but you don't see it a lot. But sometimes if they completely fluff it, they get stick. So fair play to him for going for it. Unlucky. He had another chance as well, overhead kick. From what I can remember, I don't think he quite got the connection on it. But it was another chance. Yeah, we had a few chances. As for Hull, again, I think they had a few. Yeah, they did actually. They had one that just went wide. But it's one of them. Obviously, players get minutes again. That sort of thing. I was happy, to be honest. I'm going to get more into individual performances. When we get into player ratings. That's really all I've got to say. Your summary on the second half, though?
It just ended up being what it was. Do you know what I mean? Basically, certain players trying to impress, especially for us. End of season game, nothing to, nothing to play for. Just like almost like a bit of a friendly, little bit more intensity. So yeah, and we still got a clean sheet, and we still got a point, and we still kept the unbeaten run going. So and you can see that some of them players were actually quite impressive, considering two of them had an absolutely diabolical performance against Grimsby in the cup. And they really looked at, Watson and Thorpe I'm on about.
Yeah.
Totally different performance, and fair play to him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, let's get into the player ratings. Let's just fly straight in. So Shea, didn't have much to do other than that save. His distribution was a little bit questionable, but it can be. I'm not going to lie, it's been like that a lot. But overall, his first game back since proper game anyway, since November, I think, when he got that injury or whenever it was near the end of the season. It would have been November. What am I on about? But obviously, it was a while ago, as we know. I think he was decent for his return. Good save, like I said. I'll go over 7.
Yeah, I'll give him 7. I thought he was all right. Good save. He come for some crosses and stuff like that as well. His distribution. But the thing is with that is he's probably hardly played with these players. Yeah, he got training and that, but match, is different. And Ethan's used to he knows where he's going to put the ball and stuff like that. So, but it wasn't terrible. It was just
no, it wasn't
you can see that Ethan is the better option. Do you know what I mean? I think everyone can see that now. But it's good to see him fit, have a good game, not clean sheet. So yeah, 7.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Moving on to Osho, obviously come off, like I said, in the second half, minute literally into the second half. And yeah, he's getting minutes again. I thought he was decent. Didn't put a foot wrong. Part of the clean sheet. So I'm just going to go with another 7.
Yeah, another 7. I thought he was good defensively. You could see that you don't panic now you used to, but now you don't. Generally he's good. He's good coming forward. He's composed on the ball. But we definitely need him. I think he's really, really picked up. I want to see him start tomorrow. But 7.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then moving on to Bradley. Obviously, he did have that mare. Let's be real. Obviously, he did redeem himself. But other than that, I can't really think of much he done wrong. For that little moment, I'm going to go with a 6.5.
Yeah, I agree. Like, you always looking when he was on the ball and thinking. I used to have that with a lot of Luton players, so it's no like disrespect over the years. Do you know what I mean? But it's whittled down to like one or two players where you think now that we've got to be careful here or whatever. Like, you just worry. And I think it's more because we're going into the playoffs. So but it wasn't terrible. 6.5.
I've had a mare again, people. I've just realised I haven't even put the player ratings. There we go. So yeah, there we go with that. Moving on to the next player, which is Potts. Again, I think he's a player going forward. He's not quite that guy, but he is consistent. Most of the time this season. Obviously there's the game Coventry at home where he got caught out, but majority, he's been really good. I remember we watched that Swansea game, Dad. Swansea away, phenomenal. Obviously, he was the captain in that game, heading everything away, just solid. This game didn't put a foot wrong. 7.
Yeah, 7. I thought he was good, and you're right. I think he's obviously he's a little bit younger than Bradley as well, so I think that helps. And I wouldn't be surprised because of his experience and that with the team as well. I'd be tempted if he is out of contract to give him another year at least.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind him as another option.
Definitely, and yeah, I thought he was pretty decent for me. 7.
Yep, no, absolutely. And then moving on to the wing backs, we'll start off with Fred. I thought he, didn't start off too great, but he grew into the game. I think he gave away a foul at one point, and we was like, "Come on, what are you doing?" By the way, I know a few of you watching the League One game. There's been a goal. Peterborough have scored. Just got the notification. Who is it? Thought it'd be Clark Harris potentially, but it's not. So yeah, because I know a lot of people said they'll be watching that as well. So yeah, like I said, he grew into the game. He grew into it, and yeah, I thought he was decent. In the end, obviously he did come off for Thorpe, but he was all right. I'll go with 7.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7 easy. I thought he was pretty good. Again, it's he was kind of playing in Draymay's position. He's not a defender, but he did actually defend quite well at times as well. He looks hungry. He's got good ability on the ball, and we just haven't really seen enough of him since we've had him because he's been injured quite a few times, But he's definitely got ability and he's strong on that. And I thought he was all right in this game.
Yeah,
He'd definitely probably be on the bench in the upcoming games as well.
yeah.
Because don't forget when he first started for us, the first season I think we had him in that when we beat Peterborough 3-0, I think it was. He got 2 assists. He was.
Yeah, I remember that.
He looked good, and if he can find that again, we got a good replacement there to come on for like Doughty or for instance. Do you know what I mean? So because he could play on both sides as well. So yeah, I thought it was all right. 7.
Yeah, no, I agree. Moving on to Doherty, again, pretty consistent. We know we get that of him. You got to remember, he plays left wing back. Obviously, he played on both in this game, but he's very consistent. So yeah, again, I'm going to go with another 7, I think.
Yeah, same. Like you could see that he was one of the first 11 players, but he weren't really exerting himself like like he will tomorrow. Put it that way. Because he was holding back a bit, but he was just keeping his energy going. We ain't really got any other options that side. So I get it. But yeah, he was steady. 7.
Yeah, absolutely. And then moving on to midfield, we'll start off with Campbell. Obviously, Pitbull. as we call him, mainly Stephen, to be fair. But yeah, he was decent. He was decent, getting stuck in. You know what you get from Campbell, really. Can't really think of him doing much wrong, to be honest. So I'm going to go with a 7 again.
Yeah, another 7. Again, it's very similar to Doughty. Doing his job, but not over exerting himself. Same sort of thing, really. 7.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Then moving on to Clark, we'll go over to Clark. Obviously, getting minutes again. He's going to be another vital player, I feel, in these playoffs. And yeah, it just again, I'm going to go for another 7.
Yeah, same reason, same everything. 7.
Exactly. And then moving on to the last midfielder, which is obviously Watson. He's my man of the match. Obviously, other than that Grimsby game, the games before that, especially against Wigan at home in the FA Cup, I thought he was brilliant. And he was decent. Nearly got that assist for that Berry goal from the halfway line. Good flick on, or just in front of the halfway line. And yeah, he was good for me. He's a good player coming through. As we know, obviously, good signing by us. As we know, obviously, our recruitment tends to be good anyway. So yeah, my man of the match, I'm going to go with an 8.
Yeah, I'm going to give him an 8. He's also my man of the match. I thought he was like kind of switching. He was like a bit like Nakamba, and then like where he had the opportunity to go forward, like with good tackling, good awareness, like really composed performance from him. I thought I was actually, and I've seen him play like that before, but only it was once, wasn't it? I think it might have been against Norwich actually, but it reminded me of that, maybe even slightly better. So yeah, 8 man of the match.
Yep, no, fair enough. Moving on to the next player, the attack. We'll start off with Taylor. Obviously, he had that chance. He's unlucky. His strength was good. Like I said, I was very impressed with his strength. There's one moment in the first half, bodied their player. It weren't a foul at all. It was brilliant strength. And yeah, I can see him getting a goal soon. It would be brilliant if it is in these playoffs. But I can see it. He's just getting better and better each game. Middlesbrough, he was very unlucky. He had 2 good opportunities in that game. Obviously, the last game, like I said, against Hull, he was decent for me. I'm going to go... You know what? I'm going to go with 7.5 for Taylor.
Exactly the same as me. Like, he was close. He's up there. Should have been a goal. Great, brilliant header. Like, lively throughout. Very, very strong. And a really good option to have on the bench, considering that Woodrow is still not available. So if he can put himself out about like that, and he can header like that as well, that's good. That's good. I thought he was really good. 7.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Moving on to the next player, which was Freeman. Like we said, obviously he's not a striker. He's obviously, like I said, the games he's been coming on, he's been playing all sorts of positions. And fair play to him for that. I thought he was okay. Didn't put a foot wrong. Gonna go over 7.
Yeah, same. Like I say, out of position. Had some good touches. He's got the ability in that, but it's just because he keeps playing out of position and things like that, we're not really seeing that. But it reminds me a bit of like Snodgrass situation last season, whereas he could potentially like do something, but I think that he'll probably be going at the end of the season. But yeah, 7.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Moving on to players that come on. Obviously, we've done as many subs as you can. Good to do that, especially in rotation, getting players minutes, like we said earlier. Burke was the first one. Obviously, he's going to be massive in these playoffs, whether that's coming on or even starting games. And yeah, I thought he was, good when he come on. Obviously, getting into the swing of things. Obviously, when he come on, Thorpe come on shortly after, so he's more linking up with him. Yeah, decent. I'm going to go with a 6.7.
I'll give him a 7. I thought it was as equal as Osho was when he played. Didn't put a foot wrong. You know, some good passing and that, looking composed, get back up to fitness is what it is. But yeah, 7. And that's against his former club as well. So
yeah, absolutely. And then moving on to the next player, Elliot Thorpe. Now he was good when he come on. He made that run, went forward. Good run. You got to remember he's playing right wing back as well. He might have been doing a free role, but he was mainly in right wing back, and he was decent. I was impressed with him. Obviously against Grimsby, not so impressed. Not just him, but obviously it was a standout. Obviously, and yeah, I was impressed. with him. So I'll go with what will I go with? I'll go with a 7. I feel if I go higher than like Shay and that's a little bit.
nah,
So I'll go 7.
I'll give him a 7.5. He looked like a good player. That run was good. You know, do you know what I mean? He just looked composed doing it. He looks like he's got a lot of ability. I can't remember if he's the one we got from Tottenham as well, I believe.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
and Leicester and that we're looking at him. Obviously, has that much, But if you can, do cameos like that, and then start creating. I mean, we have seen good stuff from him. Even last season, I think it was in a cup or against Cambridge.
yeah.
In that game. So he's someone we need to be keeping hold of, and this is the key thing about getting to the Premier League. We be able to we can loan them out to then like teams that have just come up to the Championship, like Peterborough, for instance. They go up, things like that, and you see what happens. Do you know what I mean? Or whatever they show in training, but they can get into the squad, the first team squad. But we'll see. But yeah, I thought it was good, and that's what I like to see.
Yeah.
And both of them players need to make up for their performances against
Grimsby.
Fucking appalling.
Yeah.
So yeah, 7.5, really good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Moving on to the next sub, Lansbury, come on, showed that aggression. We loved that. Obviously, scored that goal against Hull last time out. What goal that was? And I was like, go on, Lansbury, because come on, well, I don't think there was too much in it. Yeah, it was probably a foul, but I don't think there was an awful lot in it. For their player to react how he did.
Yeah, it definitely was a foul.
Yeah, but I just didn't agree with the way the guy reacted. Could you imagine if that was the thing? Is right when people go on about that Lansbury thing against Swansea, no one talks about when the guy booted the ball away. So it's just one of them. Sometimes just an easy target because he does the worst thing. But yeah, I thought he was decent when he come on, showed that, determination. Again, player that, good to get the minutes for him. I'll go with go with a 7 for Lansbury.
I'll give him a 6.5 for the yellow card as well. Like for me, he didn't need to do it. Yeah, the keys are over, but he's still done it. You can't be like, he's not kind of the player I'll be wanting to bring on in the playoffs. Like just based on that, I think again, Lansbury used to be a very good player back in the day, and he's still got a lot of technical ability and still is a good player. But it shows you how far again we have come when he's on the bench, mate. Yeah. And for me, like it's a bit risky. You know what I mean? It's like he's a bit of a Danny Hilton type player. Well, come on, and that's why the end was near for him that time. And I said, like, mate, he can't he wasn't even playing for the ball and that, and he was just like looking to get a yellow card, being petty and that. And I get that to a certain extent, but I'm not in the Championship. You can't. It's all about the ability more than that. You can't do that so much. So 6.5. I think he's another one that will be off at the end of the season as well.
Yeah. No, I agree. Moving on to the next player, which was Johnson. Now, obviously, when he come on, he's a youngster coming through. I think he's actually younger than me. Pretty sure they said. It's a big up to him for that. Obviously, playing for Luton. Obviously, he got a little bit of protection, understandably, against Middlesbrough. But in this game, he was very good. He was very good. I was actually impressed with him. even more than I was against Middlesbrough. So yeah, man, he was decent. I'm actually going to go over 7. I was impressed. You know, got on the ball a few times. David's saying he's 17. There you go.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'll give him slightly higher than that. I'm going to give him 7.5. I thought he was good. I like his strength. You know, and you got to imagine he's 17 years old, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nothing kind of game, but you're at home. You got longer minute, more minutes. He wasn't protected as much, like you said, but and he had a good tussle. I think with one of their forwards. Yeah, come out all right. Do you know what? He was composed. I liked it for his age, and he's obviously rated a lot, and wouldn't be surprised if he is still on the bench. I'm not sure because I know kind of what my thinking is, and can't see us having 3 defenders on the bench. But he's looking good going forward. So let's see what he's still growing as well. Like he sounds like if he's got that technical ability in that, he could be a beast he could. I don't know. Let's see. I'm thinking I want to see his pace in that because we ain't really seen that, but he looks quite strong. Man. 7 point.
Yeah, no, he does. He does. I agree. And then moving on to the last sub, Berry. Obviously, like I said, fair play to him for taking on that chance just in front of the halfway. Unlucky. Had that overhead kick. Pretty sure he didn't quite get the connection. He was unlucky there.
Yeah.
Coming on, trying to do stuff. And we have seen that a lot from him, over the years. Millwall this season's clear example of that in the 2-2 draw. So, yeah, Berry, I was impressed when he come on. I was impressed. I'm going to go with a 7.2.
I'll give him a 7. I thought it was good. I think he was asked to play up front.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Like, again, I've said it before, he comes on, whatever he's told to do, he does. I mean, he tries his best to, score a goal or stop a goal every single time. Wouldn't be surprised to see him start tomorrow. But
he did start in the away game, didn't he, in the league?
Definitely be on the bench. And he has got that, he can produce something as well. Like if he'd have scored that goal, it wasn't too far away. The 2 goals against Blackburn at the time. The goal against Millwall, there's low. He can produce if he's done it. And he's got, he has got a lot of ability. And he could be a hero for us. But I'll give him a 7.
There you go, people. They are the player ratings. Obviously, both give man a match to Watson. Both give him an 8. So yeah, my last final thoughts on that whole game. Look at the positives. Obviously, we rotated anyway. It was a nothing game. We're still unbeaten. So take that, man. 14 games unbeaten. You want momentum going into the playoffs. And for sure, that's what we've got. So that's my thoughts on it. Any final things you'd like to say about the whole game, Dad?
No, wrap it up. The fans were good as well.
Yeah. Considering it was, like I said, nothing game. They were good, yeah. 2-0 to Peterborough, by the way. There you go there. When the goal scorer comes up, I'll let you lot know. But yeah, moving on to obviously the game in the playoffs. Who scored for Peterborough? Ward scored. Obviously, it's a madness, as we know, on the Saturday. 1 minute it was West Brom, 1 minute it was Coventry, 1 minute it was Millwall. And then the rest of the time, I think there was no one else. It was Sunderland. It was obviously Sunderland towards the end. As we know, obviously, we didn't played them, obviously, not too long ago as well, towards the end of the season. Obviously, we did draw 1-1. Obviously, the controversial penalty that I was absolutely fuming with. And I'm sure, obviously, a lot of us other Luton fans were. Obviously, I put the clips out. Obviously, got 70,000 views. It was madness. But yeah, obviously, it was frustrating in that sense. Played well for, a lot of that game as well, as we know, especially away at Sunderland, which is, obviously a big, big stadium and that. But obviously, we're good away anyway. Second best side in the league away. It was frustrating. But yeah, it is one of them where we return to Sunderland. You know what I mean? So yeah, obviously for this, as it is a massive game, it's only right I get a Sunderland fan on, and here he is, Bradley from RWA. How are you, mate?
Good evening, everyone. Yes, I'm really well, thank you. How are you?
Oh, just saying, there's a little bit of an echo.
Oh,
I'm not sure if it's from your side.
2 secs.
Oh.
Is that fine now?
I can hear myself.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you're right. Right, hold on. Let me see if I can. Good entrance. Right, let me try it. Wait, say something. Oh, there we go. I've just sorted it. Say something quickly, Brad.
Hello?
Yeah, I've just sorted it. There we go. T-Boys TV on the face. There we go. But yeah, no, big up yourself, obviously coming on. What was you going to say, sorry? Obviously, it was echoing, so.
I say it's good evening, everyone. How are we all this evening? Are we all good?
Yeah, we're all
good. All good, mate. All good, mate.
Good stuff,
yeah.
Good stuff.
I'll say, obviously, massive games, so it's only right. Get a Sunderland fan on. A bit of insight before we get into, how we're all feeling going into it. Obviously, I like to do this stuff when it comes to it. So, obviously, both meetings between Sunderland and Luton obviously ended 1-1 this season, with Luton taking the lead in both games. Second stat, Sunderland are unbeaten in their last 18 home games against Luton in all competitions, winning 12 and drawing 6, since losing 1-0 in September 1973. Now, I remember saying that in the league game. We haven't beaten for ages. Luton are featuring in their 4th EFL playoff campaign. They have failed to win promotion from any of their previous 3, going out in the semi-finals each time. 1996, 97 in the 3rd tier. Obviously, in League 2 in 2016-17, and then obviously last season. This is Sunderland's 8th playoff campaign and 4th in the last 5 seasons, also taking part in the League 1 playoffs 2018-19, 2020-21, and 2021-22, obviously last season. At this level, it is their first playoff campaign since 2003-4, year I was born, 2003, losing in the semi-finals to Crystal Palace. And in the last one, only Portsmouth, 8, have played more games in the Football League playoffs without winning a single game than Luton Town. See, we've had 6, drawing 3, losing 3. The Hatters have also lost all 3 away games in the playoffs, which, based on these stats, obviously, it's not things you want to hear if you're a Luton fan. A bit more going into it. Obviously, what Rob Edwards has said and a bit more about Sunderland. So obviously the Hatters go into this game who are 14 games unbeaten, like we said. While obviously Sunderland claimed top 6 spot on the final day to go 9 games without defeat. Rob Edwards going into it said really good, really excited. It's been a bit of a long time coming for us. We've known for a few weeks that we're going to be in the playoffs, obviously since that Reading game. We didn't know who we were going to face. Like I said, crazy. 1 minute it was West Brom, next minute it was, we all know how it went. We've been able to have a good week's preparation and we're really looking forward to the game. Some of our lads have experienced the playoffs. It's hard, as I don't want to talk about the final yet, as we've still got such a big job to do. And we know how difficult the task is going to be. Sunderland over 2 legs, but it's good to have some experience of it. I've been a part of it before, and it was an amazing experience to be part of its success. It's almost the best way to do it through the playoffs when you win, but there's obviously 3 other teams that are going to be desperate to do it as well. Bit about Sunderland. So they picked Millwall to the last playoff spot on the final day. Obviously, as we know, beating Preston 3-0. Obviously, 9 games unbeaten, like I said. They've not lost since March and have found form at the right time, which contributed to them breaking into the top 6, of course. Man United loanee Diallo scored 13 goals this season, including on the final day at Preston. That was a very good goal, by the way. Still don't like the guy, not going to lie. But yeah, obviously that's that. Allocation, Obviously, it's sold out. I know some people are selling their tickets and that, but it probably will sell out again. And then obviously the officials. It's good to obviously, have an experienced ref in this one. I think he's a decent ref. Last time he was the ref for us was when we visited Reading in the 1-1 draw. Obviously, the game that actually confirmed our playoffs. So it's quite weird in that sense, actually, how he obviously confirmed it now. Or sorry, we confirmed it. He was the ref there, and then he's going to be in our first playoff game. He's taken charge of 40 games this season, 29 of which were in the Championship, handing out 158 yellow cards and 7 red cards. So yeah, that's insight on it. After saying that, Brad, obviously you are the guest. How are you feeling going into this one?
To be honest, I'm not going to lie, but I'm actually feeling quite confident going into this one. I'm not going to lie. I'm feeling very confident, in fact, going into this game. Obviously, Luton have a very, very good physical side. They've got some strong physical players, such as Sonny Bradley, who will be leaving at the end of the season. Fair play to him for obviously playing players. And I think it's Bakambu. Is it Bakambu?
Yeah. Bakambu, yeah.
Apparently he's been playing for you since the National League. Which is
you're thinking of Ruddock.
Ruddock. Is it Ruddock? Is it Ruddock?
Yeah.
Well, Ruddock, who's been playing since the National League, that's absolutely phenomenal. It's absolutely outstanding how he's been playing for how he's got through League One, League Two, and up to the Championship. Then this is the problem. You're only 3 games away from the Premier League. That's the question as well. So, do you think Sunderland's going to do it this season? Obviously, they did it last season against Sheffield Wednesday. They beat them 2-1 on aggregate in the AFL playoffs semi-finals last season. They won 1-0 at home. Obviously, with Ross Stewart scoring that goal. And obviously, Patrick Roberts put the icing on the cake, may I say, down at Sheffield Wednesday away. Won them 2-1 down there. On aggregate, obviously, with a 1-1 draw away. So, I went to Wembley, which was a really good atmosphere that day. Obviously, I couldn't get tickets for the game, but I wanted to go down. But hopefully this season, we could go down this season, hopefully, if we beat Luton Town tomorrow, which will be very, very hard, because obviously the 14 games unbeaten as well, remember, bearing in mind, Sunderland fans, if you're watching. But obviously Sunderland, on the other hand, hasn't lost a game since March. They've been unbeaten since March 2023 as well. So really hard game for both clubs. But obviously we've got good physical players there, such as Amad Diallo from Manchester United as well. You've got a good player there. You've got Patrick Roberts in his top draw. He's good as well. Obviously Jack Clark, he's only a youngster as well, 21, coming in from Tottenham. Dennis Serkin as well, apparently he's injured and probably be out for that game as well against Luton. Hopefully coming back for the second leg. Lyndon Gooch, I don't know about him. Apparently he's getting assessed today. But Ballard remains out for the playoffs, so he won't be back at all until the start of next season. And obviously the star striker Ross Stewart, he's been out for a long time with an Achilles injury, which is really frustrating because obviously we haven't got a striker. We've got like Joe Gallagher who can play as an out-and-out striker. He plays off Ross Stewart, but he's been playing well since he's came in January, I think. He can hold the ball up pretty well. He can do things with the ball. He can pass to players when needed. So yeah, and but yeah, coach's corner, you're actually right there. Sunderland's got some big, massive injuries as well. Obviously, no fit centre backs. Probably apparently rotating to a flat back four tomorrow. Apparently for the back three. Apparently that's what Tony Mowbray said in his press conference, and he said that today as well when he's assessing the players. So possibly we'll see Joe Anderson make the start tomorrow. We might do. Trey Hume obviously be playing tomorrow as well, filling in Lyndon Gooch. I think Dan Neil will be moving over to the left hand side, letting Ekwar and Michu come in the centre of midfield. obviously Ekwa, he's a really, really good midfielder. All Sunderland fans should know this because we've seen it the other day against Preston. Even they made a song about him as well. So really good player. Ekwa, Perry Ekwa, came in from West Ham. I rate the lad quite highly well. When he started first for his first game, I think the first game was against I think his first game in January, I think it was back against. Let me think. No, he started February because he picked up an injury until he came in. So he started against Coventry on the 25th of February. And obviously we got beat there 2-1. Obviously Victor Giguere scored that for Coventry. So yeah, going into the oh, an echo again by the sound
It's
of
all right. It does that sometimes. That's nowhere near as bad. Don't worry about that.
But anyway, yeah, Tiger, I'm pretty confident going into this game as well. You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say 2-1 Sunderland in this first leg as well for the score
Right.
prediction. If you want the score prediction from us, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. It's your score prediction. Obviously, what I'll say before we say how we're going into it, injury news. I think everyone's pretty much back for us. That bar Woodrow. Obviously your Osho's have come back, your Burks. So we're in a pretty good position. You know, Taylor's as much as he hasn't scored yet, he's starting to kick into things. So I'm confident when it comes to team and that. But yeah, I'll let you go first. How are you feeling going into this one, Dad?
I'm confident that we'll get a result. I'll be very surprised, not very surprised, but a little bit surprised if we don't score. But it's going to be tight. They've got some very, very good players, some danger players as well. Patrick Roberts, for me, is probably, I remember right, when we first got promoted to the Championship, we played Norwich in a friendly, right? And they beat us 5-0. And he was on loan to them at the time, and he absolutely destroyed us. But obviously, since then, we've come a long, long way, and we've got better players. But he when you've got players like that, he was at Man City, I believe. That's the worrying thing. Do you know what I mean? Because we've got very good players, but they've got a couple of players who can just switch it on you. So that's the only worrying thing. But saying all that, our team spirit is the best in the league, without a shadow of a doubt. There's not, they can't be tested, and it's been like that for quite a long time. So that obviously is going to help us. Very organised. So yeah, I'm quite confident we can get some sort of result, or it'll be very, very close. Like basically we on the return leg, we should be in good shape to go and do what we need to do. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, no, fair enough. How I'm feeling going into it, like I said, I'm feeling pretty confident as well. Obviously with players coming back, like I said, I think it's literally everyone bar Woodrow. Like I said, Taylor's starting to kick into things. It's going to be a very difficult game. Of course it is. Any team we would have got in the past would have been difficult. See Sunderland, sold out. So it's going to be, the atmosphere is going to be booming. That's for sure. So they need it to be, to try and get a result and then, have a chance in the second leg. So yeah, and it's one of them for me where it's similar to what I said. Obviously, it's different circumstances last season because obviously we was away in the second leg. But at the same time, I feel it's one of them where we ideally need to not lose to have a chance of going through. Even if it is 1-0, I think it's going to be difficult to come back. We can definitely come back, but it's going to be difficult, So it's one of them for me. But I'm feeling confident, man. I'm feeling confident. So yeah, it's one of them. Obviously, the last, I think it's 4 times we played. Yep, the last 4 times we played, obviously, have been 1-1 draws. So, like I said earlier, obviously, both of them this season were 1-1. Obviously, both took the lead in that as well. We did, of course. See, like I said, the other one, bit of controversy. But, Brad, tell me your lineup that you would go with going into this one. Obviously, you've got a lot of injuries, like you said.
Where do I start? Right. Patterson and goal for me. Patterson has always been our number one keeper this season, so I don't know why I wouldn't drop him. So Patterson in goal. Obviously at centre back I would have Joe Anderson. Luke O'Nien being a centre back with him. So Luke O'Nien and Anderson partnering with each other. Right back I'll say Trey Hume. Left back I'll say, because obviously Lyndon Gooch might not be playing and Turkin might not be playing, Dan Neil's always good at left back, so we'll put Dan Neil at left back. Put going into centre midfield, I'll put Ekwar and Michu in there. For the reason why is Michu always plays good in these type of games, versus top teams. Also I would put, think, left, right. Tell you what, I'll go Patrick Roberts on the right hand side, Clark on the left hand side. In the centre at camp of midfield, I'll put Amad Diallo, and up top, I'll go Gelhardt.
Fair enough. There you go with that. That is Brad's lineup. Obviously, we'll get into ours. Now, obviously, we'll do the usual. I think I know roughly what I'm going to go with. It's just the midfield for me, to be honest with you. I could see us maybe playing what we played. Who was it against? Blackburn away, where we could play, two. What was it? So no, sorry, one CDM and two, players ahead. I could see that, especially if it being away. But I'll stick with this. So obviously in goal, it's going to be Ethan. Obviously, he didn't play the other day. What I'm going to do actually, I'm quickly just going to zoom out a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. There we go. So obviously Ethan in goal. The back three, I reckon it'll be what it was when we played in the league, which was Osho on the right side, Lockyer in the middle. I think that's always going to be the case. Obviously rested up the other day as well. And then on the left, I'd probably say Bell, again, rested up the other day. So Bell there. Where is he? There he is. Left wing back, Bowerty, obviously did score. Did think it did take a slight deflection, but still, good tactic, obviously in the away game. Again, another player that was rested, Drame, put in there. Midfield, now, like I said, this is where it's interesting for me. I'm going to go Campbell. I think he might start again. On the right-hand side, from the Camber, all day long, obviously rested. Another player that was, lone player as well. Brilliant players, we know. And then ahead, there's two players for me. It could be Berry or Clark, but I'll go with Clark. I think when we played him in the league away, he was on the bench, I'm pretty sure. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case again. And then up front, I think that speaks for itself. Obviously, Elijah and Morris. Oh, there we go with that. That's the lineup I'd go with. I think you're planning to change the midfield a little bit, aren't you, Dad?
Yeah, I'd have a CDM, or I think he had they'll pull back further. But yeah, definitely a CDM. So basically, Nakamba would be the CDM. Clark would stay where he is, and not Clark, sorry, Campbell, and then in the same position as him would be Ruddock for me.
Yeah, fair enough. Obviously, we could see that. Ruddock obviously was injured when we played him. So would he have been in otherwise? I think, maybe because, at them times there, it was there the times there where it's hard to put him out of the team. But then again, we was away, so it might be better suited for Campbell. You don't know. It's interesting. It's all interesting. Obviously, Berry started as well, so I definitely hear what you're saying there. And, he's obviously come on a lot more in these games than certain other players. So is that to start in this game so he's ready in that sense? It could be. But yeah, let's go through some comments. Hope Luton win promotion. I remember them in the first division. Jeez, fair play. Ricky Hill, which was a player back in the day.
Nice one. That's it. That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. Thank you for tuning in as well. Agree, Luton must not lose. Yeah, Hanno's on the same boat as me. His midfield would be Berry, Nakamba, Campbell. Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, could see that. Like I said, it is that time, Dad, for us. Obviously, Brad dropped his a little bit early. But yeah, score prediction. How do you see this one going in this first leg of these playoffs?
There's certain things that can happen, but we haven't smashed anyone up for a long time, so that's definitely not happening. Very good away, very good defensive, organised. Yes, they've got some good players, but so have we. I think it's gonna be cagey at times. We're a bit not slow starters, but we sort of take about 15 minutes to sort of start getting together. And obviously, I feel Sunderland are going to put a lot of pressure on us during them times. May score, probably will score, but I feel like we'll come back in the first half, second half, like we normally do, get the equaliser, and then both teams will just cancel each other out, and it'll be a 1-1 draw.
Fair enough. Your goal scorer?
Ooh. It's got to be Morris.
Yeah, gotta be, innit? It's gotta be. As for my score prediction, how do I see it going? I agree with you. I think it's going to be very, very difficult. Obviously, like I said, I've sold out, so they're gonna try and be right on it from the start, like you said. And I think the exact same as you. I think a 1-1 draw as well, and I think Morris will score. And like I said, for me, if we're to progress, throughout this, this semi-final, I think we need to ideally not lose. Even if it is 1-0, like I say, I think it's going to be difficult. So obviously, I think I know what their game plan would be at Kenilworth Road. So I'd be very happy with a draw. Going into the second leg. Because then I think it's a good time to try and capitalise on it in that sense. So 1-1 for me. So yeah, there you go. Obviously, other people's score predictions. Let me get into them. Jackie says, I'm out tonight and we'll watch in the morning. My prediction is Sunderland 1, Luton 2, coming you Hatters. And we know Jackie actually gets a lot of games right. So hopefully, if we got that, I'll be very happy. Brad, I'm not sure. This wasn't you. Because obviously you said 2-1, but someone else has come on and said 3-1.
That was actually me, but I changed my mind on the show.
Okay, there you go. 2-1.
There you go.
Okay, fair enough then. And then this was David's comment earlier. He says, big up T, nervous for tomorrow. Absolutely, mate. I think if we get a 2-0 or clean sheet win, I'll be confident for Tuesday. Don't want us to lose tomorrow or at home. Too many bad memories in the playoffs. Blackpool at home. Yeah. Obviously, I didn't watch Luton as much as I did, but obviously I know.
Again.
Then, Dad.
What I will say is, them times, I told you all about all the circumstances, certain players and that, all from the conference, yeah. But the Blackpool one, with injuries to goalkeepers, like we did last season in the playoffs, and they just weren't good enough. They're not committed like the rest of the squad is. This time, that's 100% different. We had loads of injuries last season going into the playoffs. We've got barely any now. The players are switched on, and this is going to come across over the next 3 games. I can't see us. We're just so well drilled that can't change at the moment. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm confident we can get a result, and it's good that we managed to rest them players, because obviously they left today to travel to Sunderland. But it's a day, whatever. It's easier if you're at home and you don't have to, whatever. Not at home, but closer. But it ain't going to make much difference because 8 players were rested. So that's to our advantage. They've got some dangerous players. They've got the experience from last season, but Luton are a different prospect, and both Sheffield Wednesday and Wycombe Wanderers. They've lost 8 times the whole season. A couple of them games. One was against Burnley. We're all right. We are in tune. That's the thing. That's what's going to keep us. That's going to keep us steady. So yeah, I'm pretty confident that we can do something. Even you said about if we lose 1-0, even that result we could turn that around at Luton.
Yeah. No, I believe we can. It's just
no.
Oh, don't know what it's doing.
But it'll be cagey.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't worry about them.
What's that?
David Norman.
Oh, right. Yeah. Hanno's gone 1-1 as well.
Your echo.
Yeah, I don't know why. Jarring. I'll sort it out.
Obviously, breaking records comes to beating teams. This is obviously one of the but we've still been doing it, so there's that as well. And that's quite puzzling. I think it might be your phone too close to the laptop or something, Tyler.
Nah, it's nothing to do with that.
Well, it looks like it might be ending it in a minute anyway. Nice to meet you, mate.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, I don't know why it's doing this. This is not a good ending, people. David's going to tell me. I don't know what it is. It's annoying. I've turned off echo cancellation for everyone. So I don't know what it is. So apologies if anyone does have any headphones in. I don't know what the hell it's doing. But yeah, that's not a good ending to the Hat Show, is it? But yeah, we are going to wrap it up here before it gets even worse. Brad, thank you for coming on, mate. Let the people know where they can find you.
You're more than welcome. Thank you for having us on.
No worries, mate. No worries. Obviously, I've put a link to his channel in the description. Oh, mate. Right, let's try that again. See, no, I've not. Sorry, I put it in the title, so check it out through there. Big up to everyone that's tuned in. Obviously, I know a lot of people watch this back on playback, like Jackie, so big up. We're currently on 11 likes, sorry. So smash a like if you haven't already. I won't be going to the game tomorrow. I'll be doing a watch along, so make sure you tune into that if you can. And yeah, that's where we're going to wrap it up. Any final things you'd like to say, Dad?
Catch you on the other side. See you later, bro.
Yeah, see you in a bit. Take care and peace.